Hello everybody, good evening and welcome to That's Football. I'm Mark Goldbridge and we're live for Newcastle against Manchester City in the second Premier League watch-along of the day, and it's the biggest game, let's be honest. It's absolutely massive, isn't it? Is it the time where Manchester City are about to hit that juggernaut zone that many of us think they will, or can Newcastle get back, recapture that indestructible St James's Park form? I hope so. I hope that's what can happen for the good of the league, really. But we'll get into all that. Don't forget, we're sponsored by Manscaped as well. If you don't know what that's all about, 20% off plus free worldwide shipping. Trim the grass to make the yard look bigger. The leader in male grooming. Yes, it works down there, but they've got lots of other products as well. Scan the QR code or go through the link in the description. 20% off with the code footy. Trim the grass to make the yard bigger. Precision engineering for your family jewels. It makes a big difference. Check that out. I'll tell you more about their products in a moment or two. But we've got the team news, which is going to be flashing along the screen for you as well. Look, I can't remember what I said in win, lose or draw. I think I might have gone with a Newcastle win, which I think is a little bit naivety now, because I do think that I wasn't aware that Joel Linton was actually out for 6 weeks. Incredible stuff. And it's another big injury for Newcastle to deal with, and it won't be easy. It won't be easy for them. I think, Newcastle, Man City can say, oh well, we've been missing De Bruyne all season and we're missing Erling Haaland, but it's a little bit different, isn't it? I mean, you look at that Newcastle side: Dubravka, Trippier, Shaw, Botman, Burn. It's okay. It's okay. Longstaff, Gomes and Miley, that's not okay. That's not got Joel Linton in there. He's such an important player. Puts a lot on Longstaff and Miley stepping up to try and cover that void. Almiron, Isaac and Gordon, I think they'd be quite happy with that. Bench options, well, there's not a lot on the bench. There is not a lot on the bench. Obviously, Callum Wilson's injured. They've got Hall. They've got Lascelles, but they don't really have anything on the bench that's going to hurt Man City. And then you move on to Man City's side and you just think, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. Ederson, Walker, Diaz, Aki, Vardiel, Kovacic, Rodri, Silva, Foden, Doku, Alvarez. Bench of Grealish, De Bruyne. They've got options, even with the injuries that they have. So I'd put Man City as firm favourites, but I'll bloody love it. From one legend of Newcastle, Kevin Keegan. I'll tell you what, I'll bloody love it if Newcastle get a result here today, but it will be tough. Would you rather tongs for fingers or fingers for a tong, says Rice and Peas? You can answer that, everybody. I'm here to watch the football. It's not going to be one of those sort of streams, I don't think. But thank you very much for your contribution. Have no interest in that tongs for fingers or fingers for a tong. Anyway, yes, good to go here, and very interested to see how it's going to go. As I say, I wasn't actually aware that Joel Linton was out for so long, and I think it's a major blow for Newcastle. He's such a big player for them, literally, and literally he really is. But there's just something very boring about Manchester City going and dominating this league again. But I look at their next few fixtures for City, and I think this is their toughest one in the Premier League for quite a while. They obviously got Spurs in the Cup next, but then they've got Burnley at home, Brentford away, Everton at home, Chelsea at home, Brentford at home. They seem to have a lot of home games coming up as well. Bournemouth away. They don't really get a tough game until, well, it's Man United. They don't really get a tough game until Liverpool away in March. So I think this is one of those games where you look at Man City and you go, yeah. If you don't want them to win the league, then you want them to not win games like this. Going down to 10th Bridge, says Jamie Moore. I think you know what? It made me laugh, actually. Chelsea fans, we never knew you. Like, suddenly reappeared, Chelsea fans, because they're above Man United on goal difference with a game extra played. And I've got people in the chat saying going down to 10th. I mean, you really don't know me, do you? You really don't know me at all. Do you really think I take any satisfaction in being 8th and Chelsea being 9th? Do you think I sit there and go to bed at night thinking, can I go on Twitter and banter Chelsea fans because we're 8th and they're 9th? Or if we go to 10th today, do you really think that sort of thing bothers me? I'm not happy if we're below 3rd. So 8th, 9th, 7th, if you want to play for the 8th place cup, crack on, Chelsea fans. Really do. I thought you were better than that. Man United are nowhere near where I want them to be, and I'll take no satisfaction if we're above you in 7th place at the end of the season, because what Chelsea do is an irrelevance to me. What Manchester United do matters, and we're fucking miles away from where we need to be. Absolutely miles. Give us your thoughts on who you think is going to win this. I have gone with Newcastle, I think, on win, lose, draw. That's a win, lose, or draw. That's not been confirmed by anyone in the chat yet. So let me know about that. But yeah, I would love Newcastle to get something, but I think United, I think City might just be a little bit too strong for them. And that's not forgetting that we could also have VAR. We've already had a bad 2 Premier League games with VAR. We could definitely have VAR again, making an impact on this game, of course. Kevin De Bruyne is on the bench, and I put Newcastle win. I did. Thank you very much to everybody who's letting me know that in the chat. Can we have a poll on the results? We certainly can. I'd like to see your opinions on this. Results poll. Newcastle, draw, or City. Start the poll. There we go. Just while it's up on the screen there, let me just remind you that we're sponsored by Manscaped on the show today. I've shown you the lawnmower. That's for down there. Trim the grass to make the yard look bigger. Fantastic products these are. I mean, I've been using them for a while, but they are really good quality products. You've also got the Handyman, which you can take around with you. It's very handy. This is for clean shaving. Look at the sound of that. This is if you want a clean shave, old style. Very, very good. I use it for the bits around the edge, actually, but you can do it to take the whole lot off. They've got the beard trimmer with 11 different lengths on it. This is fantastic. Fast as well. The quickest one I've ever used for like beards and stuff. It's absolutely speedy and efficient. And then if you have this problem, and I'm not ashamed to say I do, nasal hair, the weed whacker, absolutely fantastic. So check out whatever you want on manscaped.com. Use the code FOOTY, get 20% off and free worldwide delivery as well from Manscaped. Trim the grass to make the yard look bigger. The one dog says, I'll buy it if you trim me. Yeah, there's no money that's going to buy that privilege, I'm afraid. Is there a new trophy in place for finishing above United? 1 billion spent and yet cannot be in Europe. That's mad considering there is an owner buying all good players for the manager. The opposite to United, to Zakil. Mate, don't fall into it. I know loads of Chelsea fans. They couldn't give a shit that they're above Manchester United in 8th. I mean, this is small-minded mentality. Don't fall into it. Don't fall into their little trap. They're little trolls who actually think that they're achieving something by being above Manchester United in 8th. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing to even mention it. Remember when Arsenal fans used to celebrate 4th place and we used to call it the 4th place cup? Double it, and that's what some Chelsea fans are trying to celebrate tonight. 8th place, goal difference with a game in hand. Come on. In fact, comment about it more. It's funny. Yeah, Hamad's a Chelsea fan and couldn't care less. I thought Chelsea deserved to win it today. Thanks everyone who listens to the podcast. Goldbridge Saves Football. What did I say? My team of 2024 would be Chelsea. I think they're the team that's going to make the biggest strides in this calendar year. But what I will say, I watched Chelsea with many of you today, and I couldn't believe how average they were again. Guess what, though? Pochettino said after the game that in the first half they were distracted by something. Does anybody know what they were distracted by? Matt Hull says, have you watched Saltburn up the tune today? No, I don't have any intention to watch it at the moment. It's not on my hit list, but I've heard a lot of people did. Somebody just said Chelsea are in their worst season above United. Why do you have exclusivity on worst season? Have I just landed on the biggest shit of 2024 by accident. So this guy in the chat is now saying, ha 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 ha, Chelsea having their worst season ever and still above Man United. What exclusivity? What exclusivity? I can't even get the words out. What exclusivity clause have you got on having your worst season ever? Why can't we be having our worst season ever as well? What are you talking about? You spent £1 billion, mate. £1 billion in 12 months. I don't know why we're getting dragged into this sad little conversation. I'm on Talk Sport later. It's perfect for that. Not on here, thank you. Anyway, I want to watch this game of football. I'm intrigued in this, and as I'm sure many of you are. My personal opinion on it is Manchester United and Chelsea are fucking shit. And anybody who's arguing about who's better really has no standards. I think most Chelsea fans think that they're having a shit season. Most Manchester United fans think they're having a shit season and would rather not discuss it with each other. And those that are trying to get one-upmanship, really embarrassing. Fucking hell. If that sends you to sleep tonight with a stiffy, for fuck's sake, God, what's going on? Unbelievable. I don't care if Chelsea are better than Manchester United. I don't care. I really don't care because you're 8th. You're like 9 points off 4th place with a game in hand. I don't care if Chelsea are better than Manchester United. I'm not looking at Chelsea. I'm looking at Man City. I'm looking at Liverpool. I'm looking at Arsenal. I'm not looking at Chelsea. So please take it. West Ham are better than us. Spurs are better than us. Brighton are better than us. If you want to join that club, please do join it. I don't care. Chelsea fan have no right to talk after this season, says Constantine. And can you describe each Premier League team by the animal they best represent, starting with Newcastle and Man City, says Rohan. Mate, I really just want to watch this game of football tonight. I don't know what's going on with the chat. I don't know why people are acting like prats. The Carabao Cup was boring. This is a massive game. I'm not interested in polar bears or animals tonight. I'm interested in watching a good game of football. So if you're not interested in that, get out. We've kicked off, and it's Newcastle against Manchester City. I think Man City are going to dominate this ball as well. I just don't like Man City. If you're a Man City fan, fair play, but I just don't like you. 56% say City are going to win. 26% Newcastle, 18% draw. Thank you, Barker. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's going to be tough. I think Newcastle, they've got to try and do what they do at home, Newcastle, and not sit back. I watched Newcastle go to City, and they lost 1-0, didn't they? But they've got to try and they've got to try and get high up the pitch. They've got to try and be physical and tenacious. But one thing we haven't spoken about, my dinner nearly came back then. One thing we haven't spoken about is look at Newcastle. You know, Chelsea fans are trying to be relevant. There could be an onside here. Isak, please score. Goal! Offside. Twat! Linesman, let it go. Fuck off. Look at you. Look at him, smug. Why did he let that go? Look at him. He's onside. He's offside. He's definitely offside. But he's let it go. He's miles offside. Why did he let it go? I don't know. Not a goal. He's miles off. They don't need to check that. They don't need to check that. Why are they checking that bit? Why are you looking at that? What are they looking at there? What are they looking at? What are VAR looking at here? What are they looking at here? They're looking at the tap-in. Isak's offside about 2 metres before that. It's not even close, says Dan. It's not even close. Miles off. Why are they looking at the goal? Why do they keep looking at the goal? I don't know what's going on here. It's still pantomime season. Why are they still looking at the goal? Somebody just said something about a red card. How can you have a red card for scoring a goal? I don't know what's going on here. Ederson's injured himself, but it's definitely not going to be a goal. But it's just incredible. It's incredible. I don't know what's going on at the moment. Let me know in the chat. Thanks everyone who's tuning in. Please do subscribe. Bottom right hand corner. I don't know what Ederson's done here. Carl Walker's probably saying, what do you mean it's being checked? It's got to be offside. Oh, they just keep showing the injury. Well, Ederson's... I don't think Ederson had a problem. I actually think he's... I don't think there's an injury there at all with Ederson. I genuinely don't think he's injured. I think it's because he thinks he's let a goal in. Not even 5 minutes in and we could be having half an hour added on this game already. Oh, don't know. Well, the goal's not been given because it was offside. I don't know what VAR was looking at there. I mean, we didn't get... So, in the UK, we didn't even get VAR showing the offside. We got VAR looking at the bloody Ederson thing. Oh, Newcastle should have scored here. What a bunch of prats. What a bunch of prats. Newcastle need to score here. They're up for it. They're up for it, Harmon. They want some. Ederson's going to come off. Just get him off. Yeah, Ederson's an absolute mess. They need to get him off. It's all over. It's over for Ederson, says Aiden. But Newcastle should have took advantage of that chance. Change, change, change. Pipes like this. Change, change, change. Ederson's coming off now. Just fucking hell. Can we just get him off the pitch? We've only had about a minute's play. And we've had fucking 6 or 7 minutes pissing about. Get him off the pitch. He's not got a head injury. Get him on a bloody stretcher and get him off. Look at him there. Little smug twat in his blue gloves. Oh, I think we need to get a stretcher. We're Man City. He's loving it. He's got a little grin on his face. Get him off. Come on. This is tactical by Man City. This is slowing the game down on purpose. They know that Newcastle are up for it, so they're slowing it down. They see he can walk off. Nothing wrong with him. Hobbling. Get off. Acting like he needs a bloody stretcher. Get off. Someone should go and pick him up and carry him off. Get him off. So it's all tactical, this is, to try and warm their keeper up. I've played the game. I'm telling you. Ortega's... Oh, stop hugging. Get on the pitch. Referee. Referee. Time wasting as per usual. Come on. Ederson's just jogged off. Just skipping. Look at him. Look him in the tunnel. Right, we're up and running now. Mark, do a Dyche impression for the Villa game, says Dan Edwards. Welcome to the Members Club. KXL, thank you very much for joining the members club. Get your badge in the chat. No difference between the penalty for United versus Wigan and the Chelsea penalty versus Fulham. So I don't know why you're saying Fulham were robbed if you think Bruno's was a pen. You're a bit thick, aren't you, mate? 58 go. I don't know. I can't. Is there something in early January idiocy or something? I was looking at the comments about this. So I did a reaction to the Chelsea game saying Fulham were robbed. And people keep talking about the penalty and going, there's no difference between the Bruno one. Clarity in the first 30 seconds says that they should have had a man sent off and therefore Fulham were robbed. And people are talking about the penalty. You're talking out your arse, mate. What are you talking about? At no point did I say Fulham were robbed because Sterling died for a penalty. I thought it was a penalty. It was 100% to do with the VAR penalty, VAR red card. What are you talking about? Why do people generate arguments in their head that don't exist? Fulham were robbed because Gusto should have been sent off. The penalty on Sterling's a penalty. It's got nothing to do with that. You're a prime example, mate, of the problem with society who make up arguments that don't exist. I've got no issue with the Sterling penalty. I never did. At the time, I said it was a penalty. It's exactly the same as Bruno's. You're right. You're answering, you know, if you actually listened to my video, you wouldn't have needed to put that out there. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Welcome to the world where people make stuff up. Fulham were robbed by VAR. What was the title of the video? Fulham robbed by VAR. Not Fulham robbed by Sterling dive. Fulham robbed by VAR. My concern is we had a bad VAR decision in the Luton-Burnley game. We had a bad decision in the Chelsea-Fulham game. They say it comes in threes. Let's wait and see. So, Man City have lost Ederson. I tell you what, that Doku is a powerhouse, isn't he? Not just quick, but fast. Good intensity to this game, though. LFC Gamer says, so what if people think you're complaining, Mark? You have every right to call out bad officiating. People who gladly accept it are part of the issue. Yeah, but I call it out, as I'm sure you would as well, mate, and a lot of people do. I don't call it out. I'll call it out for anybody. Even if Man City had it, I'd call it out. I don't like Man City, obviously, but if they had a bad decision go against them, I'd call it out because VAR is bigger than club bias. Yeah, I wanted Doku at Man United 3 years ago, says Jimmy Ward. He's just, I mean, I know he's very quick, but 58 Go says it was only a yellow. Okay, well, you carry on having your chat with yourself because I'm not getting involved in that. I've said what I said. I would call it out if City were on the end of a bad VAR decision because it's more important to me. I think VAR is a disgrace. I think the PGMOL are presiding over incompetence, so I would call it out, yeah. I don't think I am doing Villa Spurs tomorrow because I think I'm going to watch a match before Man United, so I don't think I'll be able to do it. Here's Rodri. I fancy Man City to score in a minute because Newcastle just seem to have lost their way. That stop in the play by Man City was very, very good because it just completely killed the momentum that Newcastle had. And now Man City have been able to reset and get hold of the ball. Villa Everton tomorrow, isn't it? Yeah. Here we go. Foden. He's going to cut this back to Alvarez, and it's going to be 1-0. Oh, good interception by Bruno Guimaraes. They need to switch back on again, Newcastle here. They've completely lost the momentum they had before the Ederson injury. Foden actually held on to that for too long there. Mark, I know you think Ruben Diaz is overrated, but who do you think is better between him and Laporte? I rated Laporte more than him purposely, says Bart. I think Laporte's a player that really surprised me because left-footed as well. I expected him to probably become one of the best centre-backs in Europe, and it just didn't happen. I don't know. I don't really know why it didn't happen. Maybe it was just a talent thing, but I was surprised. But I'd say Diaz is better than Laporte, yeah. I just don't. I think people talk about Diaz like he's the best centre back in Europe, and he's not, in my opinion. Who would you say is the best centre-back in Europe? I mean, I actually think Van Dijk's not far off being back to his best, to be honest. And I think before his injury he was the best. So you've got to put him in the equation. I mean, I'd like to think that the best centre-back in the world presides in the Premier League. That's miles offside again. Miles offside by Almiron. That's a good ball. Almiron's in. Where's he going? Oh, I tell you what, Isaac made his run well there. It's got to be a corner. Fuck off, ref. He's an idiot. How's that not a corner? It's only a minor thing, but this is such an obvious corner. It's lovely play. Cross comes into Isaac. Look at how he angles his run. Gets in front of the defender. How can you not give a corner for that? It's so obviously a corner. Like there's not enough power on the shot. Paolo says Araujo is the best centre-back in the world. Here we go, Man City. They've got options. Where's Newcastle's midfield here? Here's Doku. Edge of the box. Oh, what a chance for Bernardo Silva over the bar. Man City looking very dangerous here. Their break speed here was breakneck. I think Newcastle did well to defend this. And you'd have expected Bernardo Silva to score, actually. Pops up to him on the edge of the... Well, inside the box, actually. On his left foot. Just doesn't keep it down. As Aidan Matthews says, he scores those normally. Yeah. There they go again. Look at them. Where's Newcastle's midfield? I said they'd miss Joel Linton, and they really are. Look at them. They're queuing up. Good block. It's worrying for Newcastle, this. Of course, I was trying to say that about the league table. Look at Newcastle, 10th. If they lose today, their next game is Aston Villa away. Like, Aston Villa away after this for Newcastle. They've got Fulham away in the Cup. I don't think Newcastle would ever push the trigger on Eddie Howe in season, but... Carl, I'm laughing at you because you can't type anymore. You're gone, mate. Oh, sorry. Let him speak, Simon, says Cameron. Is Foden into Alvarez. Good block. He scored in the first game, didn't he? As strong as City are, even they are playing with 2 holding midfielders. Don't know why United let Mainu play alone, says Mode. Harris says, why do you call Kevin De Bruyne Fanta Pants? I don't know what you're talking about. What are you talking about, Fanta Pants? Got no idea what you're on about, mate. Sounds gingerist to me, that. Oh, I don't like that sort of comment. What's that all about? Get a life. Corner to Man City. They go short. Of course, Paul says, if you want City to drop points, do you want Liverpool to win the Premier League? There's another club in the top 4, you know, that can win it, and I wouldn't care. They're called Aston Villa. The best performance I've seen this season against Man City, in fact, the best performance I've seen against Man City in probably 3 years in the Premier League, was Aston Villa at home. They annihilated them for possession and shots. They were absolutely dominant. I've just never seen anybody do that to Man City for a long time. But Newcastle are losing the midfield battle here. Probably predictably. You know, you've got Longstaff in there, Miley in there with Bruno Guimaraes. They really are getting dominated in the midfield, and that's going to be a big problem for them. They can't do anything about it. There's nothing on the bench. Joel Linton out for 6 weeks. Tonali out for a year. Games are won and lost in the midfield, and there's a definitive midfield imbalance at the moment. There's not a lot Newcastle can do about it. I feel for them. Oh, here we go. Yellow card, Bruno Guimaraes. He's always a bit physical. And that's not good news either. I mean, it's another midfield blow there, because you've now got Bruno Guimaraes on a yellow card for most of the game. Hungover Bridge. I didn't have a drink last night, so how can I be hungover? Would you swap Bruno, says Madison. Would I swap Bruno? I really like Bruno Guimaraes. I've said this before. Yeah, I really do like him. A bit of a hothead, but they just can't get out, Newcastle, at the moment. It's such a shame, because, you know, in that first... Before Ederson's injury, Newcastle really had Man City on the ropes, but they've just not... Since the substitution, they've just completely lost their rhythm. Oh, Rolando says they'll be attacking Bruno Guimaraes for that second yellow card now. Oh, you know, Pep Guardiola deservedly gets a lot of plaudits for the way his team plays football, but he's also the master of the dark arts of football as well. You know, he knows how to get people booked. He knows how to avoid his players getting booked. He's the master of the early foul as well. You know, they make yellow card tackles, but they'll make them early so that referees don't give it. And what I mean by that is they'll commit a bad foul in Newcastle's half before that break even begins. They're very good at that. City should be 1 or 2 up, says Constantine. No, I think it should be 1-1. I think Newcastle should have scored from the Ederson mistake, and I think City should have scored the Bernardo Silva chance. Madison says, I don't want Liverpool to win the league. I'd rather City win it. Well, if City win it, it's 4 in a row. I think for the Premier League, that's a really bad look. I don't. Obviously, it will break Man United's 3 in a row record, but you know, I'm not that concerned about that because I think everything Man City achieve comes with a star next to it, doesn't it? You know, they've done something nobody else can do in the league now in relation to the amount of money they've pumped in. It can't be done anymore, so they've got a huge advantage. So I think if they did win 4 in a row, you could always say in 20 years' time, Star, you know, they got away with it. But, of course, if Liverpool win the league, it's 20 times. Obviously, as a United fan, I'd rather Arsenal win it than Man City and Liverpool. And Villa would be my choice. Jealous, Bridge. Yeah, I'm not jealous of Man City, mate. I've seen a real treble. I support a real club. I think Man City are probably jealous of Liverpool and Arsenal and Man United and every other football club that actually gets credibility, because Man City just don't get any, do you? I mean, every paper I look at, every news article I look at, it's never about Man City. It's always about Man United or Liverpool or Arsenal. I mean, nobody takes any interest in them. I don't know why. I don't know how you legitimately deal with that, because you can't buy it, can you? Nobody actually has any interest in them. How is that not a foul? He's literally just blocked Gordon off from running. What's the name of this referee, everybody? Because he's an absolute clown. I forget what his name is, but he's absolutely rubbish. He's the one who... didn't he send Calvert-Lewin off? He's absolutely... He's terrible. I can't remember what his name is. Chris Kavanagh, that's it, Danny. He's rubbish. He always looks like a rabbit in the headlights as well. I think it's only a matter of time. Oh, what a goal by Bernardo Silva. What a goal. One of the goals of the season. Kyle Walker's cross and a little back flick to make it 1-0. I hate it. I can't stand it. I can't stand them. But it's a great goal. I don't know what Newcastle are moaning about. I think Man City have played on with 10 men. I don't know what's going on here. I mean, the goal is absolute filth, like Tyler says. But of course they've. I don't know what they're moaning about, because Gordon's back on the pitch. I don't know what they're moaning about here, Newcastle. I don't know. It's not offside. Oh, it's that goal. That goal. Pure quality. You can't argue with it. I don't like City. It's very obvious I don't like City, and I don't pretend to like them. But that goal is just class. Absolute class. But this is a foul. I don't know why he doesn't give the foul there. It's a foul every day of the week. It's off the ball, and he takes him out of play. But you know what? The goal is absolutely fantastic, and they'll struggle now. They'll really struggle now, Newcastle. Trippier. I don't know. I thought it was a foul, but I think it's a long gap after the foul to the goal. I don't really know what Newcastle were moaning about. Again, it's not Man City's fault. You play to the whistle as well, don't you? Play to the whistle. And but I didn't realise it was Gordon and Diaz. But Gordon's got a running line and Diaz runs across him and takes him out of play. It's a foul. You know, you can't run across somebody's running line. It's a foul. But there was a big gap between that and the goal. And Gordon was back on the pitch, so I was a bit confused why they were moaning about it. But the goal is just... I think Newcastle, I'm going to say something now. I think Newcastle could get a Tonkin. It could get silly because Man City are dominant. Oh, Foden with the shot just wide. I'm with Plum. It felt like the goal was 5 minutes before the goal. Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't think you can moan about the Man City goal. It was there was a long gap. I don't know what I've done to my arm. My right. Oh, here we go. What's going on? What a save by Dubravka. What are Newcastle doing? I don't know what Newcastle are doing here, but they need to switch on. Man City are absolutely all over them. And that was Vardiel with the shot. Oh, yeah, Trippier's pass. It's a good save by Dubravka. I mean, Bernardo Silva hits it well. Dubravka ends up palming it up onto the bar. To be honest, I think Dubravka gets away with that a little bit. Everyone will say that's a good save, but it is sort of right at him. And if he'd palm that in, here's Gordon, another offside. It's just wild. Says Liverpool got a goal disallowed from a 2-minute earlier foul. City, 54 seconds. Man City can enjoy this run of cheating success until October when they'll be sentenced and confirmed as cheats and sent to the National Leagues as Red Army. I'm not sure that'll ever happen, mate. But Newcastle need to switch on here. As I said, their next Premier League game is Villa away. So Almiron's done well here. He needs to dink this cross. Oh, you've got to beat the first man, mate. You've got to beat the first man. Daniel says, City are Lance Armstrong FC. Well, whatever they are, they're playing well at the moment. The intimidating Newcastle atmosphere is not doing anything for them. It's interesting, like I say, I mean, this is why I'm not a big fan of VAR, because all the stoppages change momentum, and momentum's a hard thing to maintain. And when Ederson went down injured, from that point, Man City took over the game. But before that, Newcastle were in the ascendancy. They've just not been able to get back in control. Isak. Keeper made a mistake. Corner to Newcastle. DLS says it was never a foul. They've gone short here, Newcastle. I don't know why, because they've got players in the box. Terrible cross by Gordon. Mark, they're the type of players Chelsea should be spending their bill on. Sheer silk quality players, not kids who've proved nothing thought, says Bob. And Isti says, if they can go back 5 minutes to give a penalty for Palace against Liverpool, they should go back 2 minutes to give a foul on Diaz. VAR rigged, shouldn't be a goal. Yeah, I don't know. No, look, I'm never fair to City, but I felt like there was a very big gap between that, what I thought was a foul on... hold on here. There's a slip from Newcastle. Foden, Alvarez. Good shot. Good another corner. Yeah, they felt like there was a big gap there. Marge says, Noam. Let me just... Oh, this is a good ball to Isak. Kyle Walker's quick enough to get back. My life! My life! What a goal by Alexander Isak. That is absolutely FIFA finesse. R1 or R2, I can't remember. That is an absolute belter of a goal. He's in behind. He stands up Kyle Walker and he curls it in to make it 1-1. And in the most unexpected circumstances, we've seen two absolutely world-class goals. And Man City will be kicking themselves because they get 1-0 up. They've been dominant. And Newcastle just go up the other end. It's a tremendous ball. Kyle Walker's been sucked in. He's got the recovery pace, but Isak just stands him up. And the finish is absolutely fantastic. On second viewing, it's even better. Let's see what it's like on third. Cuts inside Walker and then boom, lovely finish. Absolutely lovely. Look at the technique here. Eyes on the ball, bang. Knows where he wants to put it, doesn't need to look at the goal. Thanks for these watch-alongs, makes these matches a lot more watchable, says Hunter. That's magic by Isak. Well, Newcastle back in it in a surprising way. It's a good game. I still think Man City have got loads of goals in them, though. Great goal by Isak. R1 circle mark, says Fennick. But here's Man City. Oh, it's not going to take them long to be 2-1. Vardiel, block. Newcastle need to sort themselves out. They're going to concede a lot of goals in this game if they're not careful. But this is a good run by Almiron. Well in by Isak again. And here's Gordon. He's got the time. Kyle Walker looks a little bit standoffish here as he comes into the box. It's 2-1! Oh my God! Gordon's alive! Flash Gordon! That was absolutely incredible! It's nearly as good as the first one! It's 2-1 to Newcastle! I can't speak! I can't speak! Let him speak, Simon! That's absolutely incredible! What's Kyle Walker doing standing off again? It just gives him the freedom of St James's Park. I don't know what Kyle Walker's doing defensively here. He doesn't need to worry about anybody pace-wise. He stands off him. Gives him the freedom of St James's Park. And look at this. Look at Kyle Walker here. He's standing off. It's almost arrogant. I'm quick. I'm quick. Doesn't get close enough, quick enough. Gordon just goes, right, I'm going to use the space. Gets back inside. Walker's not close enough. That's what happens. Get yourself tight. Get yourself tight as a defender. Kyle Walker's lazy there and Gordon absolutely takes advantage. But look at where he shoots from as well. Keeper can't do anything about that. That's incredible. That is incredible. Watto's jinx, Kyle Walker says Ryan. What a fucking goal that was then, eh? What a goal. Well, this is flipped the game on the head. I mean, I don't like City and I don't want City to win, but I am sat here going, what the hell? It's not that feel of a game at all. We'll take it. Oh no. Oh no. Botman's not going to catch Doku. He's done well there. Bloody hell. I thought Doku, mistake at the back, and I thought Doku was going to be through one-on-one, and Botman's worked hard to get back there. I think there's going to be a lot of goals. I would still say Man City could win this game 5-2. Gordon is what I wish Anthony was for United, says Leo Rourke. This is why we love football, says Fennick. It's a cracking game. Fair play. Cross comes in. I don't think it's disgraceful. Rhino CV says Newcastle need to buy defenders. It's disgraceful defending. I don't think it's the defensive problem. I think it's the midfield. Pep not looking very happy. There's a long way to go. There's a very long way to go. I wouldn't be surprised if City could turn this around in 5 minutes, the way the game is. But yeah, he'll be frustrated because it's not that I don't think he'll be thinking they can't get back into it, but he'll just be pissed off that they've gone from 1-0 to 2-1. Pitts, thank you very much. Welcome to the Members Club. Thanks for joining. Good play by Rodri. Options here for Foden as he gives it into Doku. Great tackle by Trippier. Miley's going to have to get moving here. And he's got Isak in. And Isak's fast. He's very fast. Good save by Ortega. That's the danger for City. Isak's causing them centre-backs lots of problems. And he wins a corner as well. I'd still put City to win this, yeah. I still would, but he's timed that to perfection. Look how quick he is. What a game, says QD. Just be wary of Bruno Guimaraes on that yellow card. That's all I'm going to say. Lovely angled ball. Trippier. Oh, he can't get it. It's a shame. It's a shame. It was a good ball. This game is nuts, says Raheem. Newcastle's midfield seems to go all together, and when and it just seems to be taking one pass for Man City to get at that back four constantly. Would have got 3 minutes, but I think there'll be about 5 added on, won't they? Because of the foul to, not the foul, the injury to Ederson. So still plenty of time here. Next goal's massive in this game. Here's Trippier. Where's his options? He likes a cross. That's a corner. That's a corner, ref. That's a corner. Start, bench, sell. Gordon, Doku, Martinelli. I like Gordon, Nicolas Cage, so I would probably sell Doku, bench Martinelli, and start Gordon at the moment. That was gone for a bloody corner. That was a corner, surely. He's given a goal kick. Could we get 10 minutes added on at the end here, says Nabin. Be interesting to see what they do add on in 2 minutes. That's Kyle Walker gone in the summer, says Cads. I don't know what he was playing at. I genuinely don't know what he was playing at. Here's Almiron. I think he was offside anyway. Was he offside? I tell you what, Man City's... yeah, Almiron's miles off. Don't know what was going on there. If only Man United players played with such urgency, ferocity and passion, says Han. There's a lovely ball here. Good defending. I just worry about Newcastle's midfield. As I've said a few times. Time for a stretch. Oh, here we go. Look at this. Time and time again, Phil Foden is getting in here. I think he holds on to the ball too long, though. I think he needs to learn to release the ball. City need De Bruyne on, says Nitro. Well, I was just thinking that. If you put De Bruyne in these positions that Phil Foden's getting into, I think Foden needs to learn to release the ball. Because he's getting it in so many good positions. Here's Kyle Walker, though. He's already got 1 assist. Back into Alvarez. Yeah, I agree. I think if Newcastle, CC says Newcastle are picking City off. If City can get the next goal, it's a big if. 8 minutes added on. About right, isn't it, really? Look at Trippier's run here, but Almiron fancies his chances against Vardiel. Good tackle by Trippier. Definitely not a foul. Trippier's got it back. He's going to whip this, surely. Cross comes in. Gordon. And Ortega's there. The game's just bubbling up. You feel like there's something going to happen, don't you, all the time? That's definitely not a penalty on Almiron, by the way. Good tackle by Vardiel. What a goal by Bernardo Silva, by the way. I mean, I don't want us to forget that. It was absolutely incredible. You love to see that. Well, you don't. I don't love to see it because it's a City player, but, you know, you can't not appreciate the quality. Lovely ball. Miley. Gordon. Isak. Oh, it's there at the edge of the box to be won. Good tackle. He's got the bloody ball. This ref's rubbish. He's absolutely rubbish. He's absolutely rubbish. I can see that tackle from here. Burn wins the bloody ball. And now watch City go and score now. Doku. Yeah. Newcastle are playing like you see the lineups. 4-5-1 in straight lines. 0 in the middle for passes in between. Yeah, City are just playing through. I think one of them... Look at their midfield again. They're playing as a 3 in a line. And Foden's picking up this position between the lines. They've got to... They could do with someone just dropping a little bit onto Foden, because he is getting the ball a lot. Again, look, here again. Time and time again, he's just dropping in between the lines and getting the ball. He's here. That's a foul, ref. Kyle Walker's got to go in the book there, ref. Kyle Walker's got to go in the book there, ref. And Rodri. Why do City players not get booked? Yeah, book him. Give him a red. Well, has he retracted his yellow card, or is he giving it? Rodri yellow card, yeah. Shut up, moaning. You've been getting away. You've been getting away with it for years. You've been getting away for it for years. As Brian Clough said, get all your trophies, all your winners medals, put them in a bag because you got them from cheating. I've told you to keep an eye on Bruno Guimaraes. He's on I've told you, keep an eye on Bruno Guimaraes. They can't take him off because they've got nobody else. Send Rodri off for dissent now. He's been moaning for about 2 minutes like a right bitch. Send him off. Delo got sent off for that. I still think City will win this, but what a game. Fair play to Newcastle. Oh, you've got to take him out there, Trippier. Almiron gets the ball as well. Brilliant. Almiron's having a cracker. Offside. City's high line. They love it. They love the high line, but you will get caught. Got about 115 seconds to go, says White Knight. Who's Man City's captain? Rodri and Odegaard are the princes of petulant dissent, says Isti. Well done, Almiron. Well done, Almiron. They're having to work really hard, Newcastle. So Walker's the captain. And Rodri's moaning. I mean, he should be sent off. You know, we've had it happen to us at bloody Anfield. What's that? It's terrible. Rodri, Miley, get back in the middle. Doku, another corner. Where is Rodri's booking for dissent? I can't speak, says Bobby. I know. Tell me about it. Din says, Liverpool fan, I hope De Bruyne scores. Yeah, you definitely don't. Oh, Dubravka comes for the cross, gets a bit lucky. Who would you rather have on your team, Almiron or Anthony, says Eduardo. And look, Almiron's, over the last 2 seasons, Almiron's probably one of the better right midfielders, right wingers, whatever you want to call it, in Premier League football. Last season, he was very, very good. The thing about these Newcastle players is that their work ethic is incredible. Here we go. Isak again. Breaks down. Thanks everyone who's tuning in, by the way. Please do subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. We're on the road to 1.1 million. We're only 200 away from 92,000. So please subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. Get involved with That's Football. Everybody's welcome on here. Doesn't matter who you support. And we're in the midst of another cracking watch-along here. I still think City have got what it takes to come back into it. But all you want is a game. You just want a game, don't you? And we're certainly getting that. I think when Man City scored first, half-time, when Man City scored that first goal, I did feel that it was going to turn into a bit of a rout. And that would be my story of the half here. I think that Man City, obviously the Ederson foul feels, the Ederson injury feels like a very long time ago now. And I think in that first 5 minutes, Newcastle looked very, very good. But that Ederson injury happened. The substitution happened. He's still moaning at the referee. Send him off. Still there at the referee going like this. You're not allowed to do it. You're not allowed to do it. But anyway, Ederson went off injured. And I think from that point, Man City really took hold of the game. Had chances, scored the goal. What a goal by Bernardo Silva. A filthy little flick into the corner. And I think at that point you think, well, Man City are winning the midfield battle. Phil Foden, Newcastle's midfield, as somebody said in the chat, absolutely spot on. It's very straight. There's no sitter. It's a straight three. And Foden is just operating in between those lines. Man City are finding him. He's spinning, running up against the back four with loads of space. I think Newcastle needs to do something about that. But you think 1-0 Man City, it's going to become 2-0, maybe 4-0. I even said at 1-0, I think this could end up being a real pounding for Newcastle. And then that wonderful goal by Isak, and then another wonderful goal by Gordon, and they find themselves 2-1 up. And I think that's the beauty of this Premier League, isn't it? Is that it's so unpredictable. I still think with 45 minutes to go, I'd be keeping an eye on Bruno Guimaraes because it looks like he's got a red card written all over it. Newcastle is going to have to try and survive, and to survive, their best instinct is to have a ball over the top, which they've had. Man City are going to keep coming hard, of course. And I wouldn't be surprised at 2-1 they could turn this around, but the next goal's massive. And look, from my perspective, I'd be happy with a point here. I think that'd be good for Man United. It'd be good for the league title, but I still think we've got a lot of action to go here. A little bit worried about the referee. I think he's been a bit weak. You can't have a player like Rodri in your ear like that and let him get away with it. And he's given a few fouls that should have been. He's not given a few fouls that should have been fouls. But look, who knows what's going to happen in the second half? That doesn't surprise me. 69% possession for Manchester City, but look at the chances created. They both had 3 shots on target, 11 shots to 7. It's not. Man City haven't really done enough with that possession. One criticism I would have is that Phil Foden keeps picking the ball up in brilliant positions and holds on to the ball for too long. He's got a magnetic touch, Foden, but I think he's held on to it for too long a couple of times. That might be somewhere where you look at bringing De Bruyne on. Maybe, potentially. Give us your thoughts. Newcastle midfield thinking they are playing on a Fosball table. Table football, yeah. Come on, Newcastle, says Jari, one of our members. Lovely to see a few badges in there. If you want to join the members club, click the join button and get your badge in the chat. Man City have the least amount of dissent cards in the whole league, says Sean. Yeah, well, they get away with it, don't they? Why can't United play at this level, says Rolando. I think it's about the players. It's about the attitude. I mean, you make a great point. You look at people like Almiron and Anthony Gordon. They would run forever. Almiron tracked back and made a brilliant tackle. Absolutely brilliant. Their work rate and mentality of these players that are recruited by Dan Ashworth to come to Newcastle, step up and work hard. In the modern game, it's not just about talent. It's about mentality. It's about personality. And however they do it at Newcastle and Brighton, they accumulate a squad of players that are all unified and all work ridiculously hard. I watch Manchester United every week, and I've watched them for years and years and years and years. And the recent Man United sides, they won't work like that. They won't work that hard. They're not going to track back that hard. The wingers aren't going to do that. They're not going to keep the shape. They're not going to keep the discipline. If they misplace a pass, they're moaning, they're throwing their hands in the air. Newcastle play as a team. They are a team because they realise that the weakest player in their team is their weakness. and they play as a team. I mean, I don't understand how Dan Burn plays at left back. I've never understood how Dan Burn is a left back, but it works. It works for them, and their unified team effort is their strength. But let's not all make it about Newcastle. Man City have been doing this for years. You know, it's not Newcastle who've got the secret sauce. Pep Guardiola has acquired players like this. Jurgen Klopp has acquired players like this. Arteta is acquiring players like this. You no longer just buy a player because they're talented. You have to look at what a player's personality is like. I mean, there's this Jadon Sancho debate going on at Man United at the moment. People forget that this talented player was at Man City, and Pep was happy for him to go. Why was Pep Guardiola happy for Jadon Sancho to go? Jadon Sancho, at his best, is a Man City player. He's technical. He's a pass-and-go player. Why did Pep let Jadon Sancho go at such a young age? Maybe because he saw something in him that made him think he hasn't got the right ingredients to play for this Manchester City side. And we're all very good at praising Newcastle, and quite rightly, and praising Brighton quite rightly, but Klopp and Pep have built teams with personality as well. They've built teams with players that will run and run and run and run. And yeah, I think it's a set up for a massively intriguing game in the second half. There's a lot of banter, maybe not banter in the chat that I can see, but Tem says City will make 2 or 3 goal-worthy chances, and Newcastle hitting him on the counter and having luck is the most important thing here. Yeah, I'd still put City as favourites. I still would, but that's because they've been there and they've done it before, haven't they? So, would you rather City or Liverpool win the Premier League if you had to choose one? Paula, if I had £1 for every time I was asked this in the last few weeks, I'd have about £98. I get asked it all the time. My answer is I don't need to answer it. We're not in a position where it's Man City or Liverpool for the league. For some people, they might think that that's logical, and I sort of get it, but I don't have to choose between Man City and Liverpool until I have to choose between Man City and Liverpool, and at the moment, I don't have to choose between Man City and Liverpool. I don't want Man City to win it 4 times in a row, and I don't want Liverpool to win it 20 times, but there's still Arsenal, there's still Aston Villa in the race, there's maybe still Spurs in the race. I think for me, the most important thing is if you want Villa to win the league, or you want Spurs to win the league, or you want Arsenal to win the league, this Man City side is so good, they've got to drop as many points as possible. So if they drop points again today, that's good. Red cards incoming, says Darren. What do you think of Xabi Alonso? His team is flying, says Nitro. Well, maybe he's the next Liverpool coach. I certainly don't think he's going to come to Manchester United. I'm just watching the Isak goal. Kyle Walker on both those goals is really bad. Like, you know, I'm very used to, as a Manchester United fan, I'm very used to scrutinising goals conceded, and he doesn't get tight enough on Isak. And then watch this one. He's jogging. Look at him. It's arrogant. From Kyle Walker, this is arrogant. He's like, I'm quick enough to get across. And it's arrogance. That is just pure arrogance from Kyle Walker. Look at him. He's leaving him and going, I'm not scared of his pace. I'm not scared of his pace. But you've got to be tight for this. He never gets tight. He never gets tight to him, and that's why that happens. It's just pure arrogance from Kyle Walker. He thinks, you know what? I've got recovery pace. I don't need to worry. But you're giving Gordon loads of yardage. If he gets over there quickly, Gordon doesn't make the yardage he makes. It's really, really arrogant from Kyle Walker there. And I suspect Pep Guardiola will be bloody fuming with him. But he'll also be fuming that they're 1-0 up, and in the blink of an eye, it's 2-1. Imagine if that was Trent for the 2 goals. Yeah, exactly, Nicola. You know, Kyle Walker's a very good right back, but he's got to take the blame there, I think, on both the goals. Rodri's on 8 yellow cards, 2 shy of a 2-game suspension, says Abdullah. Doesn't surprise me. He's a very, very, very intelligent tactical fouler, and he should have got a yellow card for the Bruno Guimaraes foul, because it's tactical. People need to wake up to it. Carl, you're not banned because I've just read your chat. With Arsenal and City being inconsistent, there is a major chance for Liverpool to win the title, says Marcus. Yeah, but Man City aren't inconsistent if they win this game. Manchester City form in the league at the moment, from what I recall, is 3 wins out of their last... What was Man City's last game out? I'm trying to think what Man City's last... Yeah, they've won their last... I'm trying to think what Man City have done here. Yeah, Man City have won 3 of their last 4 games. So, and they've got a really good run of fixtures coming up. Arrogance surrounds Man City in general, says Jack. What do you think of Xabi Alonso? I've done that. We've done that one. Done that one. Yeah. Perfect. 4-2. Well, the big thing is when you bring Kevin De Bruyne in as well. And look, Newcastle today deserve a huge amount of credit because you look at their bench, and I don't think it was a penalty for Almiron at all, N15, no. I think that Vardiel gets the ball first. But I think that with regards to Newcastle, it's incredible what they're doing with the amount of players that they have got out at the moment. I mean, Joel Linton's such a massive loss. Tonali was a major blow as well. That happened a long time ago. Callum Wilson's out as well at the moment. Harvey Barnes has been out for a long period of time. Their bench is so inexperienced, I think is the polite way of saying it. So, and they're on a really bad trajectory. Newcastle out of Europe. Yes, you can talk about injuries, but you know, you look at Chelsea, Manchester United there. Newcastle would be up to 7th if they could win. They're probably not going to win, so that's going to change around a little bit. But their next game's Aston Villa. We talk about scroll down FC, and Chelsea can tell us all about that because they've been in that position quite a lot. But Wolves have got 28 points, and Wolves are playing well. And Wolves have probably been robbed of about 6 points by VAR. You can become scroll down FC very, very quickly, and I think it's such an important game for Newcastle tonight to try and get something out, well, to get something out of the game. Chris says Epstein Island was once a tinfoil hat conspiracy. Rodri not being sent off is clear how biased the refs are towards City. It will come out eventually. That Vardiel is suspect. He cost 90 million, you know, says JJJ. Look, the problem with Vardiel for me is that I don't think he's a left back. And I know Man City, people say, I was asked about this on, we did this on the Goldbridge Saves Football podcast last Tuesday. One transfer every Premier League club needs in January. And I said that, I don't know what, I said Man City should buy a left back. And then Will was saying, but yeah, the way Pep plays, he doesn't really play with a left back. They invert and everything like that. But the way Newcastle plays, they play with a right winger. So someone's got to go out to left back. Vardiel, to me, looks like a fucking left back, and he ain't quick enough. So, you can get clever about the way you want to play, but I think Man City need a left back. And Almiron has murdered him for pace. And, it's a bit like putting Van Dijk at left back. I don't think he'd suit it because it's a specialist position. So I think Vardiel's a good player, but it's interesting that I think Aki is more of a left-sided left back than Vardiel is, but he's struggling against Almiron. Almiron in a one-on-one is just knocking it past him all the time. But I think he's struggling because he's out of position. But look, it's only half time. I still think that Man City can come back into this. Mariano says, why is Man United still not signing proper players? I don't know. Remember as well, everybody, don't forget we are sponsored on the stream tonight by Manscaped. Links in the live chat and in the video description. And you can scan the QR code. What is Manscaped? It's precision engineering for your family jewels. Trim the grass to make the yard look bigger. 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code FOOTY. And remember, they don't just do stuff for down there. You've got the handyman for a nice clean shave. If you like a bit of stubble like me, you've got the beard trimmer. And they do the weed whacker for up your nose as well. They've got you covered when it comes to male grooming. Get 20% off with the code FOOTY by scanning the QR code or go through in the link in the description. Thanks everyone who's tuning in as usual. I'm sure we're going to see De Bruyne at some point You're the anal god. Oh, sorry. You're the analogy god, says Velia. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, I'm sure we're going to see Kevin De Bruyne come on at some point. Interestingly himself, we were talking about this on the podcast as well. He himself talking about how he needs to manage his minutes now. I don't know whether that's in general or whether it's as he recovers from this injury. But I think Kevin De Bruyne is probably wandering in to... I mean, he's only 32, but, you know, you look at someone like Modric. 32 is not really the end of a career, but I wonder if with De Bruyne, he sort of feels that his body is starting to give out a little bit, and that's. But it might just be to do with coming back from this injury. United selling young striker to Sevilla. Thoughts, says Jay. I don't know. Oh, Mabry is not a striker. Should have spent the 90 million on Alphonso Davies, says Jack. Oh no. No, Jack. Alphonso Davies is overrated. He ain't as good as everyone thinks. He is the hipster left back. He is not as good as everybody thinks he is. I think Alphonso Davies is decent, but I think he's a hype. I think he's hyped to the limit. I think he's more of a brand left back than a proper left back. I don't think he's bad. But people talk about him like he's the best left back in the world. Yeah, he ain't. Hugo's not gone to Sevilla. Hugo's gone to Burton Albion, I think. Oh, bad take. Davies is class. Yeah, because you all play FIFA. I don't think Alphonso Davies is that good. Andy Robertson rips him apart as a left back. No, the trouble is, people think when you say Alphonso Davies is overrated, they think you're saying he's crap. I'm not saying that, but people hold him up like he's the elite left back like Roberto Carlos. He's not. He's just not. No, the story about Matteo Meja, says Jay. I'm not aware of that one. I'm not aware of that one. Okay, rank your best 3 left backs in the world then. Let's open that up. Just like Carl Walker is a pace merchant, says Jack. Don't bring Luke Shaw into it. I haven't. It's the Chelsea Man United debate, isn't it? Again, you know, you can't have an opinion without it being ridiculed because someone wants to bring something else into it that's got nothing to do with it. I didn't say I didn't say that Luke Shaw's the best left back in the world. I'm saying that Alphonso Davies isn't the best left back in the world. Super Bowl predictions is the HPN. Well, I don't know who's in it yet. Looking forward to watching it. We'll be doing a watch along on this channel, of course. Do you think Newcastle will do something this market? Because obviously if we want to compete, we need more depth, says Vicken. Well, there's talk that Newcastle haven't got any money, but I don't think this even comes down to having money. I think this is a necessity. I think that Newcastle are very short in that midfield, and if they don't spend in January, it's because they can't spend. I don't think it's because they don't want to spend, because they definitely do need to bring players in. Yeah. Who's the best left back in the world, says Eric. I don't watch enough European football anymore to definitively say. But the best left back in the Premier League is Andy Robertson. So, I mean, Andy Robertson's better than Alphonso Davies, if you want to say that. Cornerton, Man City here. See, people laugh about Robertson. I'm a Man United fan giving it to Robertson. So imagine how I feel saying that. That's how highly I rate him. Well, we're in for a very interesting 40 minutes here now. Liverpool fan, I reckon you should sign Ivan Toney, says Valentine. You know what? Not my point. So I don't like to nick other people's suggestions. You know what somebody said to me about Ivan Toney? Is, do you think he's staying at Brentford because nobody's actually made a move for him? And I was like, well, he does owe a little bit to Brentford, so maybe he's just going to wait till the summer. I think there'll be people interested in him. And then the reaction I got, lovely ball into Kyle Walker, cut back, well done, Dan Burn. The reaction I got was, would Ivan Toney to Manchester United be a good idea, considering Manchester United fans keep talking about how they desperately need to recruit the right character and not just talent? And would there be question marks around Ivan Toney and the gambling thing around his temperament? And is, you know, obviously everybody can change and recover, but is there question marks about his temperament? And can Man United afford to take that risk anymore? So, you know, it's an interesting point, isn't it? I definitely think, taking it away from Ivan Toney, Manchester United are so far behind the Newcastles, the Man Cities, the Liverpools, the Brightons, the Spurs in relation to homework on personality. They just don't seem to do it at all. We've made so many bad choices. And look, everyone will say, oh, yeah, you're talking about Sancho and you're talking about others like that. I'm talking about Pogba. I'm talking about Di Maria. I'm talking about Alexis Sanchez. Like, it's not just Sancho. Like, United have been doing it for years. Lovely take by Foden. Goes nowhere, though. What do you think of Anthony Robinson, says Burnt? Oh, the Fulham left-back, very impressive. Very impressive. M says Davies is a winger, not a left-back, mate. Well, we better tell the chat that. Oh, that's surely a foul. Rodri, take him out. Good tackle. Good tackle. Dan Burn. Good foul, I mean. Longstaff here gets him. Oh, it's the trouble with the trouble with Newcastle is that midfield. That midfield is their problem. Look at Kovacic again. Kovacic moaning at the referee for a yellow card for a good 30 seconds. It's disgusting. We all see it with our own eyes, though. We all see it with our own eyes. Certain clubs, they'll be jumping all over that. He's not the captain. Kovacic is not the captain. He should shut up and piss off. Class team, but Brexit midfield, says Jose. Good free kick from Alvarez. Depravka's across there very quickly. To be honest, I've got to say, in fairness to Man City, I think it should have been a yellow card because Rodri is running towards the edge of the box and Dan Burn does what I would call a Man City foul. He literally chops him down. So I'm not going to argue. I think it should have been a yellow card, but you get away with it, don't you? You get away with it. Good free kick by Alvarez, and Depravka's probably not got the pace on there to cause Depravka the problems. He's well across. Yeah, stuck in neutral says, what happened to the cracking down on whinging and complaining? It's funny, actually, on Talk Sport tonight, I'm on the Mark Goldbridge show from 7:30 till 9. Obviously, we'll be talking about this game and a few other things. Looking forward to Man United Spurs tomorrow. I definitely want to talk about Ange versus Ten Hag. I've got some interesting stats around that. But also going to be grading every club so far on there. So if you want to get involved in YouTube, or give us a call, 7:30 till 9 o'clock on that TalkSport YouTube channel. But we are definitely... James Porter says, City are like adult film stars. People like to see them getting fucked. What do they? If not United, Arsenal would benefit from Tony, says Valentine. Do Liverpool get Mbappe, says Chopper? No. No. And Axel says, do you think Ten Hag has abandoned the plan to play Ajax-style football entirely, or does he intend to go back to it if he gets the right players? The latter. I think that there's no manager that can get those players to play the brand of football that we would like to see. As a Villa fan, I hope that the tune can hang on here, says Ryan C. What do you think of Udogie, says Jay Brodsky? I think he needs to just work on his... He's not a very offensive fullback, is he? And I tell you what, I'm not even a Spurs fan, but Udogie against... I think he's a bit reckless. You know that second yellow card against Chelsea when you're down to 10 men? I just thought it was ridiculous. Who would you prefer to win the Premier League, Liverpool or City? I haven't given it enough thought. It's a hard one to think about. It's not an obvious answer. I'd have to think about that one. I.e., I don't think I'd have the answer this week. I think I'd really have to think about it. I'll take this one, Trey. He says, someone ask Mark, Onana or Dubravka? Well, at the moment, you'd say Dubravka's the better goalkeeper. But recency bias is real. Like, I'm going to talk about this on TalkSport tonight, because if I said to you, Ange or Ten Hag, Ange will get 80% of the vote. But it's completely and utterly recency bias. I can't believe he's just booked Bernardo Silva there, but he didn't book Dan Burn. And he's moaning about it. They just don't care. He's booked him and then he goes moaning at him. They're so indisciplined. Yeah, but I'd say Dubravka at the moment is better than Onana. But if I'd said that to you in the summer, you'd have laughed your head off. Dubravka had a terrible loan at Man United. He was absolutely shit. And Onana's just played in the Champions League final and, won plaudits from all around the world. So, recency bias is a thing, of course. How many goals will Villa score against Newcastle, says Nitro? You know what? I think Villa will beat Newcastle at Villa Park. Newcastle need to keep Bruno Guimaraes on the pitch, because for their next... They've got some big games coming up. They've got Fulham in the Cup. They've got Villa away. They've got no Joel Linton in the midfield. So they do need to... they can't afford to lose a player through a suspension. Here's Rodri. Kyle Walker. Clever little play there, trying to get Vardiel on the back post, but it was good defending by Trippier. Oh, Kyle Walker. They're being patient here, Man City. I bet City get a penalty, says Sonia. I'd be very surprised if they went through the second half without scoring. Shot by Foden straight at the keeper. Daniel, I agree. The ref is a bit of a joke. I don't know how you give Bernardo Silva a yellow card, but not Dan Burn. But this is the thing. It's not necessarily officiating. It's the general state of it. Newcastle playing like white blood cells, says Sunshine State. Might be a bit technical, that, for some. Ange did class at Celtic, says Aidan. Yeah, so did Neil Lennon. So did Martin O'Neill. It's a bit of a one-horse race, isn't it? Which Newcastle players would you put in the Man United first team? You got a pen and paper, Vicken? I just can't do it on ability, because if you do it on ability, some United players get in. But you've got to look at football now as, yeah, you need the ability, but you also need the work rate, the consistency and the attitude. And that's something that United are going to really struggle with when you're saying Newcastle and Man United combined 11. I saw Man United play Newcastle at St James's Park in early December, was it? Or late November? It was only 1-0, but they absolutely killed us. Gino, oh Gino. Bernardo Silva. Apparently Jadon Sancho scored for Dortmund. Before you get excited, they're 1-0 up against Darmstadt, who are bottom of the Bundesliga. And that's the Bundesliga below 10th place is basically like playing Newport County every week. So, yeah. Take it with a pinch of salt. Would you accept Klopp managing United, Mark? Well, he wouldn't accept it, Chopper. I think that's the first question to ask. What's your prediction for the Man United game? I think we'll win, Jay. And goal's a goal. Well, look, I hope Jadon Sancho. I nearly called him by his name, Scamcho. I hope Jadon Sancho scores a hat trick every week and pisses off. I love it, absolutely love it. Any money we can get rid of him. And if you like him so much and you don't support Man United, please take him at your club. I'd love him to go. And then see how it goes after 6 months when he can't be bothered to turn up to training on time. Brandt scored, not Sancho, by the way. So you've been scamchoed in the chat. Sorry about that. If you were put in charge of the PGML, what's the first 3 changes you would make? Well, I'd switch VAR off for a start, and I'd go back to the drawing board. When are they going to bring De Bruyne on? Oh, here we go. Newcastle can't be committing players too far forward. I mean, Alvarez has carried the ball a long way here. What a run by Kyle Walker. Oh, brilliant. That's late. That's late, ref. It's Rodri again. It should be a second yellow. It should be a second yellow. Look how late he is. Not even looking. Not even looking. This ref's crap. Look how late Rodri is here on Gomes. Watch. Watch. Clears it away. Clatters him. Watch. Bruno Gomes knocks it past Rodri. Clatters him. Second yellow. The ref's losing control here. Isn't the job of the manager to get players motivated, running for the team? Ten Hag out, says Real Destiny. Yeah, well, Mourinho couldn't do it. Ollie couldn't do it. Ranić couldn't do it. So, you know, maybe they won't do it. De Bruyne's coming on. What's happened to... Here's a question for the chat. What's happened to Jack Grealish? First season, didn't really used to play him. Last season, used him a lot. This season, doesn't play him again. Here's Doku. Alvarez, good save, Dubravka. They're getting closer, Man City. Doku's better, says the chat. That probably is fair. Grealish is on the bench. He's still hungover from Christmas. Jack says, Man United is the biggest laughingstock in world football at the moment. The reactions from other fans and players, even rivals with Sancho, show that. Good play by Doku. Still plenty of time left in this game. 25 minutes. Rodri's not had a red card. You're having a laugh. More chance of Gaza coming on for Newcastle in the midfield than Rodri getting sent off. Here's Doku in the box. Corner. Dennis is just waiting for City to score. If you were Pep, would you like a man with that hair? Says Thomas. What? You what? What you talking about? The trouble Newcastle have got is as soon as Man City score, they'll relentlessly just keep doing it. And remember, Newcastle scored 2 goals in the space of a couple of minutes. So this ain't over for a long time yet. It's going to be a long last 25 minutes for Newcastle. Keevan says the refs are shocking this season. Do you think Emery would pick Grealish in a Villa side, says Rafa? Good question. I mean, I like Grealish. I think he's a good player. I think, you know, I'd liked him to come to Man United. But, you know, actually, Grealish at Man United might have been a bad thing. Because you think about what he's like off the pitch. United's probably not the right place to be. Kevin De Bruyne has never suited light blue, has he? I know he has in the sense that he's one of the world-class midfielders. But, Dan Burn! Oh, well done, Ortega there. He had to get there, and he did. But in a fashion sense, he doesn't suit light blue, does he? Newcastle had some chances there. Bernardo Silva slips it in to Foden. Be interesting to see who he takes off for De Bruyne. Alvarez. Will he just take Foden off, or will he take Kovacic off and go a little more attacking? Might take Doku off, or Kovacic, says Josh. And Rusty says he'll take off... have a stretch, Mark, says Rusty. Joshua says he'll take off Doku. Here's Bernardo Silva. Rodri. He's got the free kick on the edge. Mark, would you rather save a last-minute pen or score a last-minute winner at Old Trafford, at Anfield? I'd rather score, Louis. Lewis. If you can pick one player from each team from the current top 5 in the league to go to United, who would you take? Flores. It's hard because I've got to think of five players that are going to suit the way Man United play. I mean, I'd take Saliba from Arsenal, I suppose. I'd take Salah from Liverpool. I'd probably take Rodri from Man City. Who else is in the top 5? Villa. I'd probably take Watkins I think it'd be a good striker to have with Rasmus, and then that's Spurs. Probably take Basumi, you know. No, Son. Definitely Son. 100% Son. Good question. Good question. Crowd next to our bench shouted Sancho, fuck off, fuck Ten Hag, and Sancho laughed. What do you think of that, says Jordan? That's just... What do you expect? Which player do you think would make good manager? Oh my God. De Bruyne is coming on to take the free kick. You know what? What a way to announce your way back in the Premier League. He's been out all season. He's coming on with his first touch to take a free kick. This has got goal written all over it. It's hit the bar. Is it the wall? Is it the wall? That's just... He really didn't read the script there, did he? Oh, what a miss. Alvarez drops to him in the penalty box. Dead centre. Over the bar. Wow. It's bouncing around in the box. Doku puts it to the back post. Nodded down. Drops to Alvarez. I'm scoring that. That's how easy that chance is. I can't believe he's missed that. Mark, would you rather be a good player but a bad manager, or a bad player but a good manager? Player, JD, definitely player. I've played with Cristiano Ronaldo, off the post says. I've played with Ronaldo, Quaresma and Eto'o, and I've scored against Brazil in the World Cup finals. Who am I? Oh, mate, I don't know. I'm too tired for that. The chat will figure it out. Which player do you think would make a good manager, says Sal? Well, I'll take one from the Premier League, and I would say a player in the Premier League that would make a good manager. Oh, here we go. Here we go. City now. De Bruyne. Good block again. Foden. Greedy. Greedy. They're getting closer. They are getting closer. Declan Rice would be a good manager. James Milner, says G. I'm taking Emi Martinez from Villa, says Mrs. Stone. What are you going to do with him? If Man City ends up losing this game, we'll get a Man City in shambles video. YouTube doesn't allow the other word. Says Animish. Time for that stretch. Still 20 minutes to go here. The reality is Newcastle haven't really done anything second half. It's been very defensive. And the thing about Newcastle in the first half was that they did have the counter. And they've not got it at the moment. They need to have something on the counter here. I don't really get Man City's angle. They seem to be running around, throwing things around. Right, he's got Rodri's throwing his hands. Rodri's just thrown his hand. Rodri's just done that. That's a sending off. Unbelievable. Unbelievable what they get away with. 18 minutes to go. De Bruyne. Oh, my God. Dear, oh, dear. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. It's just world class. Absolutely world class. Picks it up. I mean, Newcastle have been I said this at half time. Newcastle have been making this mistake all game. And if you want to talk tactics, you can't do this against Manchester City. All game, they've been giving that space to the number 10 for Man City. I don't know why Eddie Howe, Eddie Howe does a great job, but why has he allowed that all game? Why has he let his midfield play as a 3 all game and nobody drop and pick up the Man City number 10? Foden's wasted every opportunity in that place. I said at half time, if they bring De Bruyne on and he gets that amount of space, he will finish the game. And he's just done exactly what Foden can't do, which is shoot from that distance. So that's one back. Newcastle are ridiculously naive here. They should have just dropped one of his midfielders on the number 10, and he hasn't done it. I can't, I'm not in for like tactical analysis, but you just can't do that. You can't have somebody not covering the passing lane, not covering the space between the midfield and the defence. Here they go. Foden into Alvarez. What a finish it was by De Bruyne, though. Just both Man City's goals today have been magnificent. Well, all 4 goals have been magnificent, actually. CJ says, is it just me? Is it me, or is Kevin De Bruyne just too good? Rodri should have been sent off. Yellow card going like that to the referee. Fuck, I don't know what dissent is in this game anymore. Doesn't seem to account if you wear a light blue shirt. But they've got 15 minutes to win this, and you'd fancy them to do it. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner to do that. Still time here, but I think we feel as a collective that there's only one way this is going to go. It's a long time for Man City to get back into it. It's a lovely ball by De Bruyne. Actually, it's not. They just can't get hold of the ball here. What a cross. De Bruyne's running the show here. John says, you literally predicted that goal in the first half. Foden would have held on too long. Kevin puts it in the net. John, I don't think you need to be tactically switched on. I just think it's just, I can't believe Newcastle have done that. I don't really get the benefit of it either. Playing with the midfield in a straight line. One should be dropping in, shielding the back 4, taking the number 10. That's a shame, especially in the latter part of the game, which we are now. Who did they take off for De Bruyne as well? Because Kovacic is just still on. Alvarez is still on. Doku's on. What's he done? Who did he take off? A goal like that, having just finished off the Christmas turkey, says Kenneth Tierney. Oh, I took off Bernardo Silva. Interesting, yeah. Couldn't think. Please do subscribe, by the way. We're very close to 92,000. We're only 10 away, in fact. So bottom right-hand corner to subscribe. It just feels there's an air of inevitability to this Man City goal now. De Bruyne tries to put a cross in. It's just, can you defend this long against Man City? Newcastle on a rare foray forward. Isaac. Bruno Guimaraes into Gordon. Shoots again. And I think he's got a corner, hasn't he? Nitro, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you very much for joining. Appreciate that. Get your badge in the chat. Could you please give a shout out to my mate Chris, who's from Swindon? Says Lawrence Phillips. There we go. Shout out for Chris. Into the box. Doku on the break. He won't win that. Trippier goes all the way back to the keeper. Oh, here we go again. It's just wave after wave. Dubravka tried to get... Someone tried to beat him there, Foden, but Dubravka got back. Start, bench, sell. Scholes, De Bruyne or Gerrard? I'd sell De Bruyne, I'd bench Gerrard, and I'd start Scholes. Three very good players. Almiron. It's going to be a long 10 minutes this now, isn't it? And then whatever's added on. But to be fair to Newcastle, they did hold out for a long time. I just think that midfield setup was naive. Guimaraes needs to drop. They're doing it again, look. Look at where De Bruyne is again. Look at the line of the midfield of Newcastle again. It's there. It's there. Even Kyle Walker drops into it. Edge of the box, Rodri into Doku. Newcastle need to get rid, and they do. Watch Rodri score the winner after not seeing red, says S.I. What was I thinking about? Oh, I know. What was I thinking? Okay. Hasn't bought Grealish on. Bought Bob on. They've all got this lovely technique, haven't they, Man City? Just body shape, pass, pass, pass. De Bruyne, here's Rodri. Good save by Dubravka. Nearly got that goal that someone predicted in the chat. Good save. De Bruyne looks weird because he's got long hair. P. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Foden picks it up. Not literally. That'd be a handball. De Bruyne with the cross. Headed away. Foden. De Bruyne. It's just... You're just waiting for that. Oh, here we go. You know, we're just waiting for that here, aren't we? It's Man City, isn't it? Just waiting for that inevitable. And there it is, that moment. Kevin De Bruyne doesn't suit long hair. De Bruyne's cross. Headed away. Newcastle would love to get hold of the ball. Do you think Ederson should play in the Euros, says the Morris brothers? Well, I think he will do. I don't think he should have been picked for the last few squads, but he's clearly looking to get a move because he wants to go to the Euros. But I wouldn't take him to the Euros anyway. I mean, when you look at the midfield, Ward-Prowse is better. You know, there's Conor Gallagher's better. There's numerous choices better than Henderson, but Ten Hag. Southgate loves his favourites. Hall's coming on for Gordon here. No, there's no goal. Don't worry. It's still 2-2. I suspect there will be one, but there isn't one yet. Offside. Newcastle get back. Who do you think is going to win the Champions League, says Nitro? Man City. Still a fantastically good side. I still think they'll win it all. I still think every tournament they'll win. Especially with Kevin De Bruyne back, he's just so experienced, isn't he? I mean, look at him. I've spent the last few minutes just watching De Bruyne and where he goes, and he's just popping into that space all the time. It's a good ball into Foden. Got to get tight on De Bruyne here. They've lost him. It's a great cross. You know, De Bruyne's put in about 2 or 3 crosses from that right-hand side today, and I think if Haaland was playing, he'd have got on the end of him because he's putting them into exactly the right areas. Quarterback Kevin, says Dennis. Yeah, he is like a quarterback. His range of passing is incredible. Three minutes to go. I don't know how long will be added on. Maybe 6. Kovacic into De Bruyne. Kovacic is giving a foul. It's giving a foul. That's a good chance to kill time. Send Pep off for being a gobby mouthy twat. Free kick to Newcastle. Dubravka's got it in his own half. This will kill a minute. Referee's probably stopped his clock because he's such a twat. I am on TalkSport after this. Yes, it's on YouTube if you want to tune in, or you can call in as well. My first one of the year. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Rodri. It's with De Bruyne edge of the box. He's got plenty of players and options. Good tackle, Trippier, but he's not won it clean, and Man City have still got it. 89th minute. How long is he going to add on? 30 seconds to go. Thanks everyone for subscribing tonight, by the way. Get involved, bottom right hand corner to subscribe. They're still pushing here. Newcastle just can't get out. I don't think they've been in that half. 3 minutes? It's got to be more than 3 minutes. Pep's going to lose his hair again. De Bruyne doesn't go anywhere. 3 minutes! Bloody hell! Don't let Man City score now. I thought it was going to be like 8. What a goal. What a goal. What a goal. Trippier again. You've got to give Bob a load of credit there. That goal's absolutely incredible. The control, the skill to get past Dubravka is just incredible. But Trippier again. How many goals is he costing Newcastle this season? It's just... What does he do? Comes from De Bruyne. Watch De Bruyne. Yeah, Trippier's a twat. Look, what's he doing? It's lovely control by Bob. The ball by De Bruyne is like a quarterback. But Trippier, what is he doing? Again. I mean, he's very lucky he didn't give a penalty. It's lovely play by Bob as well. You've got to look at that. There's lovely technique by Bob the Builder. Yeah, it's lovely. I mean, every goal that Man City have scored has been of the highest level. Of the highest level. But, you know, you're into stoppage time with 3 minutes to go. I mean, Newcastle are out the Carabao Cup because Trippier did this. And he's only gone and done it again. Incredible. Almiron's talking about a handball here. Almiron wants a handball. I don't know what's going on. We're not getting to see the handball. Just saw someone in a Chelsea shirt in the City end, says Jack. Kevin De Bruyne is just on another planet. Play on, no handball. We didn't even see it. When is the English media going to call out Eddie Howe for being naive, says the HPN? Well, we didn't even get the replay for that handball, by the way, so I don't know. No replay on the handball. You can't argue with it. City have scored three legit goals. I think we saw it was going to happen. And many of us predicted it was going to happen. But the TNT replays have been absolutely shite tonight, by the way. We didn't even get to see the handball in the first half, did we? But fair play to City. It's not a surprise. They're just too good. And there's the final whistle. It's devastating for Newcastle. It is devastating for Newcastle, but in the second half, it was one-way traffic. And you can see how much it means to Pep. He's absolutely ecstatic. I've got to go over to Talk Sport, otherwise I'm going to be late. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Smash a like and subscribe. If you want to join me on YouTube, you can do. Man City are acting like they've won the league here because they know they're probably going to win the league again because they're just relentless. I hope at some point the referees start dealing with dissents against Manchester City, but, you know, that's obviously not going to change in 2024, and I'll be talking about that on Talk Sport in a minute. Thanks for watching.